Over the years, you've heard me ask wealth manager Warren Ingram the big questions. How do we invest wisely? How do we protect our family's future? All those conversations, that entire library of financial expertise is now available as a podcast. Straightforward advice to help you build your wealth on demand. Just search for Warren Ingram's Personal Finance wherever you get your podcasts.
You're with CapeTalk.
This is Pippa Hudson on lunch.
In our travel segment today, we want to tell you about a new 3-day classical music and culinary experience, which is going to be happening next month in the Karoo town of Prince Albert. We thought we'd give you a bit of an early heads up in case you'd like to book accommodation and really make a weekend of it, because it would require, obviously, a bit of a drive from Cape Town. But boy, it sounds like it's going to be worth it. It's called the Kaleidoscope Festival, and it's going to blend world-class classical and chamber music with food and wine inspired by the heritage of the Karoo. Now, the event runs from the 22nd to the 24th of August. And as I said, we want to tell you about it now in case you want to make a plan to go and spend the whole weekend in Prince Albert. To tell us more about the Kaleidoscope Festival, it's a great pleasure to have the event's organiser, Louise Lansdown, joining us via Zoom this afternoon. Welcome, Louise. Great to have you with us.
Thank you so much.
Tell us a little bit about where the idea of this festival came from. Where did it all begin? How did it get off the ground?
Well, I've been thinking for a long time about how it's possible to bring the wonders of the Karoo, the beauty of music, the fantastic food, incredible scenery, and taking care of the future of music education and music in South Africa. And somehow Kaleidoscope seemed like the perfect solution. So the sort of inspiration really is that in Prince Albert around 7 months ago, the ARCO project, an outreach string teaching education program, began in collaboration with the Prince Albert Community Trust. And this Kaleidoscope Festival is really, I say, a fundraising and a festival arm of the ARCO project. It's there to support these 80 young children who have just started to learn to play the violin, the viola, the cello, and the double bass in Prince Albert. And so, yes, that gets it started.
Well, as a former attempted violinist and the mother of an accomplished viola player, nothing makes my heart swell with joy more than hearing that there are still efforts being made to instill the love of those instruments and to make sure that they are accessible to kids all over the country. It's not an easy thing, though. Stringed instruments cost a lot of money. Professional teaching costs a lot of money. Sheet music costs a lot of money. Before we talk more about the festival, Louise, do you want to just expand a little bit about how much reach ARCO is having and how they're able to sustain that program?
ARCO is working within 2 creches within Prince Albert Primary School, and then also 2 other schools, Albert College and Quicket School. So our reach is across the whole of the town at the moment, and we're working with 80 young people between the age of 4 to 13. So we've really had to get little mini instruments, lots and lots of mini instruments, which are not that easy to get. We brought all of them over from the UK because actually it's not so simple to try and find such little instruments for 4-year-olds to play the double bass. It's quite hard. So how we are doing that, we are working unbelievably hard to immerse ourselves within the community and make ourselves part of what Prince Albert needs. And also we are planning, if we're able to also be involved in the greater area, Leeugamke, Klaastroom, Laingsburg, Beaufort West, if we are lucky enough to be able to sustain ourselves. So it's a lot of funding application. It's a lot of talking to people, working with people, and finding out really what people need. And I suppose our biggest thing that maybe we have learned is that we are connecting with people with their own music. We are not teaching the young kids Western art music. We are teaching them Karoo music.
That sounds incredible. Tell us a little bit more about the kind of music you're working with. And then I promise we will get back to the festival information. But I'm just so intrigued by this story. What sort of music are you teaching?
So we are teaching Afrikaans songs, children's songs. I've done a lot of reading in the FRK song bundle and connecting with teachers, finding out which songs the kids do connect with. And although we're teaching, what one could call Western instruments, the music we are teaching is totally South African. So that is really what we want to be relevant to the young people that we're teaching and want to connect with them in their own culture and their own way.
Well, you've done a beautiful job of selling the why this festival is so worth supporting. Now let's tell everybody the other part of the story, which is all the wonderful things they can experience if they come through to Prince Albert at the end of August. Just for anybody who's come in midway to this conversation, my guest joining us via Zoom is Louise Lansdown, organiser of the Kaleidoscope Festival, which will be taking place in Prince Albert from the 22nd to the 24th of August. It's about music, it's about food, it's about celebrating the amazing, beautiful, scenic location of Prince Albert. Let's delve into some of those. Louise, tell us a little bit more about some of the highlights on the festival program.
Sure. Actually, we're starting off, if you want to drive in from Cape Town and get in for lunchtime, the first concert is the 4 ARCO youth orchestras, little string orchestras, and they're playing a program of wonderful South African music. This is going to be held at the headquarters of the Prince Albert Community Trust, known as the Pop Centre. So that's the first highlight to start off the festival. In the evening, I'm going to be playing a concert with Hendrik Hofmeer, wonderful composer and pianist, and mezzo-soprano Minette Dutoy-Pierce.
Wow. Yeah.
A concert of songs for viola, piano, and mezzo-soprano. So go and have a look at the program. Before that, you can have some fantastic pizza at the Langhuis, just across the road from the showroom. On Saturday morning, the 23rd of August, head into the Swartberg Pass, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and you're going to hear a fantastic program on what's called the dance floor, surrounded by incredible mountains.
Oh, we just lost the signal at the crucial moment there because I want to know where and what the dance floor is in the Swartberg Pass.
Breakfast for everybody, and you can come and hear. Oh,
Louise, I'm so sorry. The signal broke up when you said on the Saturday you need to head into the Swartberg Pass to hear music performed on the dance floor, and then it cut out right at the cliffhanger of what the dance floor is. Won't you just take a step back and start from there, please?
Sure, of course. The dance floor is a natural amphitheatre within the Swartberg Pass. It's about a 5-minute drive from Prince Albert. And the Lazy Lizard, a fantastic restaurant on the edge of town, is going to be making a fabulous breakfast for everybody. And you'll be entertained to the sound of 4 violas and a double bass on this dance floor. We'll have chairs for everybody, no heaters, but I would highly recommend it. If you're still hungry for more music and food, you need to head down to the Yellow House next, where the young musicians from the Cape Town Philharmonic Youth Orchestra, their brass quintet, will be playing, accompanied by pizza and wine, so don't miss it.
Oh, I'm so sorry about the quality of the Zoom line that we really are struggling with at the moment. I don't know if sorry, Louise, to pause you there. We lost the line again, and I'm wondering if it might not be worth trying to call Louise instead, if that's possible. I believe the line on Zoom is better than the line on the phone, so we'll have to just struggle on and hope it doesn't happen too often. Louise, you mentioned the Cape Town Philharmonic Youth Orchestra brass section playing at the Yellow Horse. What came after that?
Oh, yes, actually, it's the Yellow House.
My apologies.
Then after that, no problem. Everyone is allowed to go and have a little sleep and a rest. And at 5 p.m., there's a cheese and wine and a fantastic concert with the Cape Town Philharmonic Youth Orchestra String Quartet playing an all-African program of music. So actually, one of their players, a young violinist and accordionist, is going to be playing one of his own compositions. So it's definitely not to be missed. And if you still
All right, I think we need to, I'm afraid, call time on this line, which is getting worse by the minute. I am so sorry to have to cut that one short because I was really enjoying listening to what sounds like an absolutely phenomenal program. What I'm going to do is just call up the festival website, which is kaleidoscopefestival.co.za, and see whether we can just find the details of the remaining events to share with you that are going to keep you entertained through the weekend. But I'm so sorry about the quality of that line letting us down as it's done. I can see my producer is trying to put in a phone call and just see if we can pick up the last few details. But while she tries to connect by phone, let me just share with you a couple of the ins and outs that we haven't mentioned yet. Firstly, to repeat the dates, this is happening 22 to 24 August in the town of Prince Albert. You need to get onto the N1, drive all the way past Mikey's Fontaine and Lanesburg and that area and beyond. And then you'll hang a right at some point and make your way down to Prince Albert to immerse yourself in this program. And I don't know what's sounding nicer, the music or the food, or better still, the combination of the two. All right, we're going to try and just limp along on the phone and hope that the phone line does us a little bit prouder than the Zoom line was doing there. So once again, Louise Lansdown, organiser of the Kaleidoscope Festival, joining me now by phone. We got to the Cheese and Wine concert, the string quartet, the youngster who is performing his own composition, which is going to be amazing. Louise, sorry, won't you pick it up from there? Thanks.
Yes, of course I will. Sorry, I'm stuck in Tuscany in Italy teaching. So
what a terrible place to be. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, so this string quartet concert also has some fantastic South African music by Mokale Kuapeng, and there's some wonderful string quartet arrangements by South African violinist Samson Diamond. And then if you're not full up with food and music, you need to keep going and go straight to the Swartberg Hotel in the center of Prince Albert, where you can get a fantastic Karoo-inspired dinner, followed by an amazing concert with Nick Turner and Skalkubert. Aptly named Breakfast in Cape Town, Lunch in New York, and Dinner in Prince Albert. So not to be missed. And if you've still got more energy after that, we're having a jamming session in the Langhuis. So if anyone wants to bring their instruments, just come and play, come and join us. We're all going to be carrying on into the late night. To finish off the festival the next morning, we have got we're joining actually the church service in the new Apostolic Church in North End of Prince Albert, and our young Cape Town Philharmonic Youth Orchestra musicians will be playing some of their own music, but also all of the hymns in the new Apostolic Church at 9 a.m. So for the early risers, and the final concert and lunch of the festival, it's 11 o'clock in what is known as the Old Central Hotel. We call it Garfield's Place. It's because Garfield lives there now. And you're going to hear the concert called Long Walk to Freedom. Now, this is all South African music, some of it from world premieres, music by the Stellenbosch-based composer Arthur Vedder, Grant McLachlan, Jan Hendrik Harley, and Montati Masebi. And we're actually just going to finish off the concert with a couple of crazy Piazzolla numbers just to spice up the end of the concert. And followed by a sumptuous meal inspired by Madiba at Jeremy's restaurant, which is next door. So, and by that time, if you're not exhausted, I've not done my job.
I mean, it sounds like the most phenomenal program. And Louise, lovely to have something to look forward to as we drag ourselves through the final weeks of winter. It's always lovely to be able to think, in a couple of weeks' time, I'll be able to enjoy X, Y, or Z. And in this case, we want you to say, I'll be going to Prince Albert for the Kaleidoscope Festival. Let's quickly chat about booking. Is it a case of you book one ticket to enjoy the entire experience, or do you book for each individual component, Louise?
I would love to have done a book for the entire experience, but this was very tricky on Quicket. Mm-hmm. So it's a book for each one. And if you go on to Quicket, you can just click on each event and you click on tickets, and you can then see if you want to eat. You can choose that. Otherwise, you can just buy a concert ticket, or you can buy both. And so it's super easy to follow. Our website has got gorgeous pictures of all of the venues just to get you extra excited. And, we're particularly grateful to Westgrow and to the Prince Albert Community Trust, who we are collaborating with very deeply on this festival.
That's fantastic to hear. Now, obviously, if you're going to go through and make a weekend of it, also just Google and check out some of the many, many hospitality options in Prince Albert if you're looking for a place to stay for the weekend. But most importantly, you want to be on kaleidoscopefestival.co.za to sort of get a sense of the program, identify which bits you want to attend, and then you move over to Quicket to book your individual tickets. Louise, it sounds like you have put together the most wonderful program of works and eats, and I hope that this event is going to be really well supported because of what you've told us, particularly about where that funding is going to keep the musical education moving forward in the town. So we hope that the event is going to be a huge success, and look forward to a conversation about the growth and expansion of ARCO and its activities. And who knows, these could be the musicians who one day are sitting in the orchestra pit at the Artscape entertaining us for the ballet or the opera or whatever it is that we are looking to. I mean, that is the big goal, the big dream, Louise, in closing, to allow these children to dream of things like that being possible for them.
That is the absolute hope, that they will be the teachers and the performers of the future.
Well, thank you for all the work that is going into making that possible for them. That was Louise Lansdown joining us on the line. Apologies for the communication difficulties this afternoon, but I think we managed to convey what a very exciting program it is, both musically and in terms of the edible offerings. 22 to 24 August in Prince Albert, and please book your tickets on Quicket.